Turner, um, and Maryland Department of Transportation, and several others, DeWalt Tools. And the money that they provide us, we actually give back to our members to help them pay for financial statements, claims, litigation expense, consulting. And at least this way, I mean, we don't pay for all of it, obviously, but we can pay for an hour or two to make sure our members like who they're dealing with. And so our mission, and I'm sorry, I'm going to read this for you, is to empower and advance Hispanic commercial contractors and our partners by providing the resources and access required to build profitable and productive relationships. Whether you're an Hispanic subcontractor, a new or established general contractor, or a vendor, we provide support and benefits at all levels. So our goal is to promise growth, access, and partnership in the region. Right now, we're basically in the DC Metro, Virginia area, but we've helped Hispanic contractors in Texas and on the West Coast too. So that is who we are, and our website is ahcc-midatlantic.org, and we are a volunteer-based organization. And I wanted to introduce today Roger Campos. He is a good friend of mine, and he heads the MBRT Roundtable, and he'll talk about what that does in a minute. But he is a national nonprofit organization that engages with national CEOs, many very large ones, and works on legislative reform to help them overcome barriers. It seems like they never go away. And so Roger is actually, he worked in the White House. He was in housing. He was Deputy Secretary of Housing for state of Maryland, and he is well known to many legislators and key political aficionados in this area. So without further ado, Roger, why don't you continue with who you are and introduce our speaker, Mike Price.
Well, thank you very much, Karen. I really appreciate your kind introduction. And Karen serves on our National Advisory Board. I'm really pleased, with some of our activities when we just relaunched MBRT about a year ago after I left the Hogan administration. And we have refocused our energy on bringing conferences and workshops very similar to what we're presenting today to companies across the country. Right now, we're focused on the Maryland, DC, Virginia areas, but we do this in other locations as well. And so in the future, we're going to be coming to Los Angeles, Florida, the New York area, Texas, and some other locations. We are a nonprofit organization, which is a 501c3 charitable organization. Many of our members give back to their local communities, and there is a philanthropic component to a lot of our members, Karen being one of them. She gives back a lot through her generosity and support to nonprofit organizations. That's one of the reasons why I'm really delighted to have her on our national board. We represent a variety of trades and industries throughout the country, but we also engage these policymakers, CEOs, through active participation with public officials and policymakers that impact their businesses. And we accomplish this through workshops that are important tools for building businesses. And for that reason, we're introducing an expert to help you understand how to navigate the GSA and VA schedules. I've known Mike Price for about 20 years. He's attended many of our conferences. He's helped our members understand the GSA process, and he's worked with small companies, helping them grow with marketing strategies. Some of those companies started small, like Dell Computer, Berkshire Hathaway, Ameritech Federal, to name a few. He is an Air Force Vietnam veteran and founder of MarketUS. And please welcome my friend, Mike Price. Mike?
Thank you, Roger. Very kind words. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. And I have a couple things that I like to housekeeping get off the table right away. I will make a mistake today. I always do. And my question is, can you figure out which one it was? And I love when that happens because then I can see if you're paying attention. But anyway, Roger did a good intro. This is going to be, please bear with me for 12 seconds. And this is going to be the intro that I use on all of my videos. I have a very robust YouTube channel. And Josh, do you have the seed questions that I sent over to you before that we can kind of get started here?
And I would just like to mention, Roger, Mike, do you want me to start recording this now?
You can record it. I'm already recording it. It does it automatically.
You're already recording it. Then I don't need to record it. Thank you.
Yep. And that'll be made available to everybody. I had a few questions that I had sent over to get you started. I look at three different prongs here. Number one, the total newbie that has no idea what's going on. And then I have the, are you a direct prime? Are you a subcontractor? Are you bidding and losing? Okay. Please put in the comments which one you are. I'm not doing anything. I just want to learn how to sell to the government. That's a good question. Number two, I'm a subcontractor, and you're not going to believe some of the graphics I'm going to show you. I don't believe in PowerPoints and or Keynote, depends on what you're using. I use specific infographics that tell it all. And before I forget, almost made a mistake. Before I forget, everything that I'm going to show you today is going to be available in a download that we'll put in the chat before we're finished. I'll have to send that over to either Josh or Karen to drop it in the chat because I don't have access to the chat. But and then the last one is, are you doing medical supplies? We take you down the VA route. Are you doing everything else? Services, products, everything. That goes on the GSA side. That's your call, whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you all three, and you make the decision which way you want to go. So let's get started so that we can hopefully, and it happens all the time, we always run over the 1 hour. My time is your time today. And if you have a question, please do not feel obligated not to interrupt me. I want you to interrupt me because if it's on your mind when you're thinking of that question, then I want to know about it because it's something I said spurred the question. So clunky, but it works. Let's get started.
We have never met. I'm Michael Price, and I want to help you succeed in growing your business.
All right, we've talked about the agenda. I've gone through a bunch of the stuff. That's great. Let's get into it. I've been doing this as of August 12th this year will be 40 years negotiating, mainly GSA. I would say probably 10% goes on the VA side. I don't get involved in bids, but I do have a whole bunch of golden nuggets to anybody that wants to work with us. And I teach you how to not lose your rear end bidding, and you will. Ultimately, you will. So, does anybody recognize anybody here? Let me know in the comments. As you can see, dead center, August 12th, 1986, we had no internet. We have no fax machines. We didn't have a whole heck of a lot of anything. I picked up the phone, landline, which hardly exists anymore, and I called a full-page ad out of PC Magazine, which was a tabloid at the time. And I called Dell, and Michael answered. I think you all know the end of that story. For those of you in the DC area, everybody knows who Khaki is. Everybody knows who Jabra is if you have a Bluetooth for your cell phone. And EDS got bought by HP. So let's assume that you are trying to make a living bidding. Well, stop it. Right now, stop it. Why? You're going to win 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 20. That's not going to make your family happy. There are easier ways. Obviously, which road would you rather go on? The one that's nice and paved with blue and a white stripe down the center, and you've got up to 20 years on a no bid, let me repeat that, no bid contract. So that's your choice. Well, I'm not bidding anymore. I'm now a subcontractor. Well, you got the same problem again. You want to float around? And I have a lot of shows that I go to, and almost all of the people are subcontractors, and they can't understand why they're not making a killing. Let's look at that little graph down in the bottom in the middle. If you're subcontracting, whether you know it or not or remember it or not, you're giving up 15 to 30% of your profit to the prime. It's their contract. You can't call on the agency. You can't call on a customer. You can't do anything other than sit there and wait for the crumbs to hit your plate. You are reactive. And you go out and chase bids, but that's one off. If Roger and Josh and I go out, and Karen, sorry Karen, have to include you. If we go out and we put together a nice, beautiful proposal and we win a contract for Homeland Security, Homeland Security is the only one that can buy from it. It's called rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So what happens next when you say, oh, I want to go the GSA route? Now, the graphic says you're going to be able to regain your 15 to 30%. As far as I'm concerned, and I've been teaching this for a very, very long time, that 15 to 30% is going to have to get disclosed to GSA when we start negotiating your contract. They're going to hammer me hard on demanding that 15 to 30% discount. That kind of negates everything we're doing. However, now you're looking at a 5-year base contract with 3 5-year extensions. So I can usually maybe go 5 to 10% with a little bit of horse trading. As a matter of fact, we do have the opportunity to, well, we have a listener. Let's just put it that way. We have a very important listener, which I cannot disclose, and we'll move on from there. Basically, it's a lot of numbers. Like I said, all of these graphics and everything will be available to you with a download link that I will send over to Josh, and he'll be able to send it out to you. Take the easy route, no bid. And one of the questions that will be included in the download is, well, if I have a GSA contract or a VA contract, do I have to bid? No. Do not confuse the word bid with budgetary quote. You're going to make a quote. And this happens all the time. And as we get on a little further, I'll go deeper into that story. It will make your hair curl. What about pricing power? Look at the very top. What's that 0.75% IFF? Everybody says, whoa, I got to give up 3/4 of a point now. No, you don't. The regulations at GSA allow you to add that 3/4 of a point on your pricing, and then you give it back to the government so the agency ends up paying for it. So don't be dissuaded by that. And by the way, this recording will be available for replay as soon as I get it cleaned up and ready to go. How about don't rent your revenue anymore? Stop the bleed. On a $500,000, they say order. Let's say you did $500,000 and you're giving up 15 to 30%. That's $150,000 you gave away. If you're going to get a contract, I don't care whether it's VA or GSA, you're only going to give up 3/4 of a point. That's a heck of a lot more profit. Any questions so far? The comments are open. I see Josh is monitoring that for us. How about scaling? You start with an extra $150,000 in capital. What can you do with that? What kind of life can you give your family? What kind of time off can you get? Some of us wake up every morning at 3:30 at my age, and I'll share it with you. I'm 74, I'll be 75 in July, and I still wake up at 3:30. It's called FOMO. If anybody knows what that is, fear of missing out. The problem is, here's our first question. What exactly is a GSA contract? Is it a list of vendors or is it a real contract? Well, let me dispel that myth right now. Thank you for that question. Years ago, when I first started, everybody says, well, I need to get a number. Well, good, pick up the phone book. No, I need to get a number so I can do business with the government. You don't get a number. Don't confuse getting a GSA contract number with your SAM registration. And let me know, is everybody registered with SAM? Number one, that's the first thing. I should have probably started that in the beginning. If you're not registered with SAM, you cannot do business with the government, number one. Number two, if you are doing business with the government because your SAM registration is current and you send out a $500,000 invoice and then your SAM registration expires, the government cannot pay you. How do you like that one? Your SAM must remain active. You can put whatever NAICS code you want in it. The correct term for a GSA contract is, for those of you taking notes, GSA Multiple Award Schedule Contract. Did I just cover everything? GSA contract, GSA mass, GSA schedule, GSA number. We don't put that in there because it's there. It's now called mass. October of 2019, they consolidated all 39 separate contracts, which is everything exactly the same except for 3 or 4 pages. They made it all one contract. You now just add it based on, and I love this term, based on a SIN. And a SIN, yes, it is a SIN, but it's a special item number. So from there, let's move forward. It is a contract. There's a subcontractor reality. Well, for those of you that have an affliction for numbers, okay, we got one here. It says once you're in front, you will be assigned a UEI. Yep. Cage code. Yep. Codes are required. Yes, very good. Thank you, Karen. Anybody wants to see the reality? I deal in a world called myth versus reality. The item is the left side. The myth is the center column. The reality is that's what you're really looking at. Let's look at the last line, profit kept. Yes, it's all statistics. That's fine, great, all well and good. But how about if I gave you the absolute greatest thing you could ever have, a study guide. This will answer, and now all you're seeing is the quiz. I'm not going to give you the answers. They're at the bottom of the page. When you get the download, you'll have the full thing. Let's go back over to my ugly mug. Any questions anybody has, please drop them in the comments. Operators are standing by. Roger, have you got anything to contribute, or
I have
Karen?
a question for you, Mike.
Yes.
There's a lot of contractors that are on the GSA schedule, and sometimes they get caught in the no escalation of price clause. So how do you get around that when you're trying to figure overhead for the next 5 years? Because some of these contracts can be for 5 years.
You know, that is something I forgot to put a graphic in. Thank you for that. That I fight with this every single time except for one person who is listening, because we have an understanding. GSA, in the what they call the price proposal template, there's a tab that says for services, what is your escalation factor? And you plug it in the top left corner and it flows out your rates for 5 years. Well, I have no idea what year number 3 is going to be, or 4, or 2. I don't even know what the escalation rate is today. I use the Department of Labor tables for whether it's white collar or clerical or whatever it happens to be. That number is updated every quarter. I do that as a modification. I hate to do that to my contracting officers because it's extra work for them. I have to submit it. Yeah, I've got that all automated. By the way, my whole system for GSA is automated through our learning management system. You can get that right off the website. Enough plugging.
Mike, I didn't know that, and I'm so glad you said that. This is Karen Barber again. I do bonding. I bond contractors for a living. And the problem with small business is we can't forecast them out 2 years, more than 2 years, because as the company grows, a lot of small businesses don't pay themselves a salary until they start making money. And that overhead item increases, and then they might need to hire people. That overhead item increases. You don't know really how your volume is going to be, and your insurance costs are going to go up. So there's a lot of things, like we see overhead could increase 10 to 20 times in that first 5 years.
Yes.
And
yes.
when you're a small business. So even though you use the Department of Labor statistical information, I think you should also pad it another 20% just to accommodate exponential growth in your company, and the fact that you now have to pay yourself and hire people. I don't know, just a thought.
Excellent point, and you're right. An extra 20%. However, nobody really knows where prices are going. Let me see. I just got a comment. Let me finish yours first, Karen. Yeah, the DOL is going to be a good guideline, but like anything else, and I know that there's a person right now shaking their head. I'm not going to say he or she, their head, and saying, well, show me documentation. Show me proof. So that's really the bottom line when all is said and done. Does that help with the question?
Yeah, it does. A lot of the GSA schedule and the VA schedules don't require bonding for the work, because service work generally is not bonded by the federal government, which is a good thing, because surety companies would have a hard time bonding those projects over the 5-year period if they want one bond to cover all 5 years. A while ago in the early 2000s, I got a FAR change for the MATOC and SATOC and IDIQ projects, where they used to have one bond for all 5 years, and the change was now they bond every task order, or they bond and they do an annual bond. but I don't know how the GSA works. I mean, we're seeing a lot of funky things happen now with this government, so I don't know if GSA is going to start wanting to bond service work. So that, I hope not, but I mean, for me, yes, but for contractors, no.
From my understanding, federal doesn't require a bond. They rely on the state bond, which puts it right back into your wheelhouse, if I'm correct. And I very seldom ever
I haven't seen it for service work.
Yeah, we very seldom ever have to deal with construction because new construction's not allowed on GSA. It has to be, plans have to be done by the architect of the Capitol, and Army Corps of Engineers is the one that actually does the building. However, as long as you don't take down the walls, you can do whatever you want inside between you and the agency. Thank you for your question, Jerry. Our team, for our team, what is the key skill sets do we need to be successful selling off? I'm assuming meaning your schedule, because I don't have one. We need to have a meeting about this because there's a lot of golden nuggets that I give. And I will give you one. My freebie to you, go to sam.gov, assuming you already have a contract. In fact, Jerry's even got got another one that just came up. I'm going to address them both at once. Companies struggle for the 25K threshold. Now they're changing that. It used to be within the first 2 years. I think they've changed it, or the proposed is in for 25,000 for the first year. So let me get rid of both of those for you at one time. Number one, you want to find, you already have a contract. We'll use Jerry for an example. You've already got a contract and you want to find more business. Where are my buyers? Where are my users? Where is everybody? I'll show you. Go to sam.gov under contract opportunities. Find what you're looking for. Let's say renovation. Let's keep it in the bonding section. Renovation. Well, you got 32 items pop up. Well, they may not all be correct. Let's say the one is we want to do a complete remodel in the barracks at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Excellent. Okay. That's an RFP that's come out, not an RFI. Of course, I should have given you a list of acronyms. RFP, request for proposal, and it's due in 30 days. And I sit there and I go, let me scroll down and find out who the buyer is. Now, I'm sure that hopefully everybody has a CRM. Start capturing that information. Now you've got the buyer for that RFP. Before we had SAM, before FPDS, before the PASS system, Procurement Automated Source Selection, back in the 80s, I had a client that was a PC manufacturer. He was competing with Dell and the king at the time, IBM. And we got this rag, literally it was a rag, it was yellow newspaper, if anybody's old enough to remember. It was called the Commerce Business Daily. I know Roger remembers it. Karen may remember it. She looks very, very young, so, and I can hear her laughing. When you hold it up, you could actually read from the other side. I would call those buyers that had that procurement listed. That's called, and I invented the term, it's called cyberjacking. I call them up and say, you've got an RFP for 5 computers. Why only 5? Why not 50 or 100? Well, you only need 5. What do you hope to accomplish by putting out a full RFP that can be protested, which stops work for 90 days while GAO reviews it? I have an 8A computer manufacturer that can ship today. We got her the copy of the contract. She canceled the RFP. That client was actually in his basement in Annandale, Virginia. He's retired now, rich. They never remember who brought him to the party. Just like Michael never remembered who brought him to the party. His people think they're the ones that are doing all this great stuff. I said, you got to go back to day one, or it's called BC in this case. He did $12.5 million with that agency as a result of one phone call. What I'm telling you now is once you found those opportunities in sam.gov and you get a hold of the buyer, there is an email sequence that you have to use. That part I'm not going to share with you. If you make a mistake, you're done. All right, I'll give you part of it. My name is Billy Bob Sullivan, and I see you have an RFP coming out for renovation of, barracks number 1 at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We have those services on our GSA contract. There's 2 paths to take here. Number 1, we have a contract. Number 2, the email's different. It says, do you have any other opportunities coming up? Because we're in the process, keyword process, of getting our GSA award, another keyword, award, that will be able to provide you all these services on an ongoing basis. You're going to get a response. Can't believe I'm going to go through the whole thing. All right, what the heck? It's free. I love giving stuff away free. You're going to get a response. Email 1 was, I have a contract. She'll say, what's your contract number? You respond. The dialogue starts. Back and forth, back and forth. However, the taboo is you never attach anything to an email initially to a contracting officer, specialist, buyer, supervisor, whoever. It's rude. I get those, I delete them. You ask permission. May I send you a copy of my contract? They don't want it. They can run the contract number right on gsaelibrary.gsa.gov if somebody wants to drop that in the comments. GSA eLibrary, one word, .gsa.gov. You can look up anybody. You can go over to Advantage, you can see everything, you can download their price list, their terms and conditions and everything. Let's go back to email number 2, where it says, I'm in the process of getting my contract. Like to stay in touch with you to see what you've got coming up. I won't be able to bid on this because it's taboo. The godfather of GSA told me, do not ever bid. You will lose. The race to the bottom. I showed you that in the graphics. What she will say, she or he will say is, when you get your contract, please let me know. That's in your CRM. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Does that make sense to anybody? Jerry, hopefully that answered both of your questions all at once. Any other questions? Josh, you got anything laying around there?
Hey, Mike, this is Roger Campos again. I've got a question for those small businesses that aren't on the GSA schedule, that want to get on the GSA schedule. How long does it generally take to apply and receive notification from GSA?
Excellent question. Remember I told you folks before, I deal with what's called myth versus reality. That's the way I live. But one thing is very, very important. People say, oh, you're right. I said, it's not a matter of being right. It's a matter of never being wrong. Think about that. There's your philosophical class for today. Years ago, it would take me anywhere from 30 to outside maybe 60 days Average was around 45. That's changed. GSA now says 120. I've got clients that go a year. And don't ask me why. I think everybody discovered what I've been preaching for almost 40 years. Get a GSA contract, 5-year base, 3 5-year extensions. Don't have to bid. You get budgetary quotes. That's pretty much the way it goes. However, there's another golden nugget that I'm not going to share because I have no idea if my competitors are watching, listening, or somehow got a hold of it. But I will tell you one thing. Those of you that are interested in, oh, thank you, Jerry. Those of you that are interested in pursuing a contract, I can tell you right now, I'm going to probably be twice what most of the other, I call them newbies, are going to quote you. So I ask you to do this. Go do your shopping. Call me last. But also ask a few good questions. How long you been in business? There's no such thing as a success rate. Everybody can be successful. When you decide that you want to go after a contract, I'm going to tell you very, very loosely, you are 97% approved. There's 3 reasons you will get denied. Number 1, your financials stink. Number 2, you're not paying your employees, you're not paying your suppliers. And number 3, and most importantly, for anybody from GSA who's listening, failure to negotiate in good faith. That's the number 1 reason that people get thrown out. Miss a deadline, I can usually cover for that. If you're out of town playing golf, I'm not going to tell them you're playing golf. I'm just going to say you're out of town on business. And moving on from there. Can I use the past performance I gained as a sub to apply for my own GSA contract, schedule, mass, whatever you want to call it? Excellent question. Yes. If it's related, I had a company that started out, the guy had been a network engineer for 24 years, and his accountant told him, you need to apply for a GSA contract. They denied him. He'd only been in business 8 months. We went back, got his past performance, his resume from where he had worked for 24 years, got him a contract. And I just noticed one very important thing. Karen or Roger, can I put you back on and let you take over?
Hi, everybody. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know if anybody here needs bonding or has questions about bonding, surety bonds to back your contracts, but I can help you with that. And if you have any questions about the Alliance for Hispanic Commercial Contractors, Josh and I can both help you with that as well.
Yeah, ask away.
Yeah. Yes, you can. You can use your past performance. Josh, I see you asked a question. I don't know if he answered it because I had to take a quick call, but the federal government has a 5-year look back rule for experience in terms of recency and relevancy, the 2 R's. So if you have similar experience in residential, let's say this is a job for USDA and they want you to come in and do tenant fit out work. That would lend itself to doing, multifamily housing work, like an apartment home, like an apartment complex. If you go in and you do renovation, they will consider that, even though it's residential, because it's relevant. So anyway, I can answer that question. I don't see anybody else asking any questions at the moment. I'm looking. Nope. Let's see. Can anybody that's on this chat let me know where you're from? What state? I'm headquartered in Maryland. I have offices in Nashville. Just trying to get an idea from Omaha. Nice. Oh, Josh, I know you're from Maryland too. Florida and Washington, Madison, Alabama. My goodness. Well, not too many Yankees on this call. You know, for those of you who are women-owned, I'm the incoming president for Women Construction Owners and Executives. We're a national organization, 40 plus years. We actually got the NICS codes for construction in the WOSB program. If anybody's interested in this organization, please let me know. We are having our leadership summit in April at the Willard, April 19th to the 21st. Men can come, but only members can be either women construction owners or executives that service the construction industry or executives in the construction company.
Karen, this is Roger Campos. I just wanted to plug our next MBRT event, which is
Yeah,
going to be April 29th in Washington, D.C. at the Army Navy Club. So for those that are in the D.C. area that might be interested in attending, my email address is there. Our website is mbrtusa.org. The theme of our conference is going to be national security and international business. And we've invited several people from the Trump administration and also some individuals that are career folks in various agencies like Department of Energy and Department of Commerce, Department of Transportation, Department of State, and also some White House officials to talk about issues and strategies that are impacting small businesses, especially as it relates to the Western Hemisphere. And also we'll be talking about marketing strategies. I think everyone is very interested in learning more information about the priorities of the Trump administration. And also, we're going to be inviting some SBA officials to talk about the changes and trends in the SBA programs. Several years ago, I worked at the SBA, and I developed some of the policies and procedures for the 8A program in particular, which is undergoing some significant challenges. And so I want to bring a couple of people from SBA to talk about what's happening currently that may impact your strategy for planning purposes. So if anyone has any questions of me or of Karen, just write it in the chat. We'd be happy to follow up. We have people's email addresses, so you'll be getting a personal invitation to attend our event at the Army Navy Club in DC on April 29th. And for those folks that I see from Madison, Alabama, and Florida, and Omaha, if you're interested, we'll have some special rates at some downtown hotels. So we hope that you'll attend and follow up with me or with Karen with any questions. Karen, do you have anything while we're waiting for Mike?
no, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was just listening. Mike's
Oh,
back.
there's Mike.
Sorry, guys. I was handling some comments, and things didn't go as well as I thought they would. So anyway, where were we before I so rudely interrupted everybody? But I'm glad that the two of you were able to get everything out there. And I was just trying to send a link to Josh, and I'm gonna have to do it afterwards, and then we'll send that out to everybody and work on from there. This was a whole new experience for both Karen, Roger, and Josh. Normally, we just go right on a Zoom meeting, and we're playing the game with the sharing the screen and everything else. I'm on a Mac. Don't judge. And I use Ecamm, which is broadcast quality software, and everything is done entirely differently. The problem was linking their meeting back into my production. And thank God Karen knows what the heck she's doing. That's not a slam at Roger. Roger says, I don't want to know. That's why I have you guys. You do it. So working with the three of us together, four of us together, sorry about that, we were able to get this to come off pretty good. Any other questions that we've got going on here? Let me find out why this didn't work. Well, maybe try this one now. See what happens. Nope, that's not going to work. This might work. And it works. That's where you can download today's presentation. And Roger, Josh, and Karen, if you've got anything else you want to add to that, I'll make it available for you.
I'm good. I'm going to put my video back on. I'm good. Thank you so much, Mike. And navigating the GSA and the VA schedules are not easy.
It's
and you can
not
lose
that
money.
hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they say,
That's
well,
why
it's
you
not that
have
hard
your
to do
job,
if you know
Mike.
what you're
That's why
doing.
you have your job, and that's why you're here talking to us, and that's why people pay you to help them.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy making big money. It takes you have to pay to play.
Wait a second.
Those schedules you can lose your butt on.
Walk me back to big money. Who's making the big money? You guys are, not me. I'm poor.
No, that's what I meant for the contractors going into these schedules. If you want to make big money, you can't wing it.
Yes.
You actually have to talk to someone. Yeah.
Michael Dell made $72,000 in 1985. He got kicked out of his dorm room at UT, University of Texas. He started the company in late 85. His first year, got him a contract. This is when he had to do them every year. His first year, no salespeople. He had 2 guys from IBM came to work with him. $6.2 million just on the phone. He hired Ron Cassoni. I'll never forget that name. His first sales guy, the second year, 13.9. Not bad. We all know the rest of that story. Do you think he remembers me? No. They're off and running. He's make all kinds of millions of dollars and everything else. If you have a contract, whether it's VA or GSA, because we're fully automated. We have a learning management system. And it takes you through all the forms based on exactly what happens when you log into eOffer once you're submitting your own proposal. It's actually not a proposal. Gotcha. There was the mistake. Application. You're competing with yourself. You're not competing with me or Karen or Josh or Roger or Billy Bob or anybody. You are competing against yourself. How do you do business commercially? Give the government a fair and reasonable discount. You will get a contract. Now you're in for 5 years. Shoot for the 25 in the first year. Don't wait for the second year. It's not that hard to do. You can always go on my website, MarketUS.com, schedule a meeting. Let's sit down on a Zoom meeting and find out if it's right for you. I guarantee if you're here for a reason, you want to understand what is the best, cheapest, and most productive way I can do business with the government. It's GSA. I fight the GovCon people all day long on LinkedIn. Bid, bid, bid. If you win a contract, it's only for that agency, unless you get on Alliant or Stars or something like that. MarketUS.com, schedule a discovery call, or you got the phone number, call me direct. When we're done, 954-636-3232. That's the direct line, and I'm not going to finish that. A very famous DJ said that and got thrown off the air. Roger knows who it is. I think Josh does too. What else have I? Oh, good. That just perfect. Thank you, Josh. That just came up with the drive to download everything and the phone number. Anybody got anything else? Don't be shy.
One question?
Yeah,
Which
the
one?
last.
Which one?
What is the industrial fund?
I was going to ask.
I think we're good. I think we've got enough information here for people to digest. Oops, my video's off. And we'll let you know if there's any follow-up. And thank you for recording this session. So Roger has it. And I hope we see you at our upcoming events.
I'm at all the events, except for the one that was after Inauguration Day, and I couldn't get a flight. I couldn't even get a Space A flight into Andrews. And who knows where I would have ended up, but either way, I make it to every single event always. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Karen, thank you for hosting. Roger, thank you for hosting. And Josh, I don't know how the heck you did it, buddy, but you made it work.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Thanks to you, it works for all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, and we're going to end the broadcast now. The video will be available on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X, hopefully later today. And you'll be able to pull the transcript. I'll also put some notes in there to help you out a little bit. And again, it'll also be on our blog post. Thank you so much, folks.
And thank you, Mike. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Josh. And thank you all for attending.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye.
If you found this video helpful, please consider donating to helpallvets.org. Thank you.